Skipper's log, March 19, 1999. From our last stop, the Seychelles Islands far off the coast of Africa, I've rejoined Voyager and crew here in the Maldives, an island nation located just south of India. Devoutly Muslim, it has a population of about 250,000, and they seem to float on the face of the ocean. Unlike the tall and rugged Seychelles, the Maldives are barely above sea level. In fact, this is a real-life water world, where virtually every aspect of life is played out on the colorful decks of countless small boats.
The average height of the Maldivian islands is just 6 feet. That's why this nation is so very concerned about global warming, because each degree the world gets warmer, that's another foot of ocean and they lose land. The second difference is that the Maldives are a Muslim country. Here in the Maldives, there's no booze allowed, women have to be modestly dressed. We leave today bound for Sri Lanka, formerly Ceylon. It's 420 odd miles in that direction. It should be interesting because we'll be against that wicked current. The wind, though, is coming around, so we should have a fair breeze.
So after a couple of days of getting high on nature, we began what we hoped would be an epic crossing of the Indian Ocean. Charlie Komar, my hometown pal and frequent sailing partner, is on board.
We're about 100 miles off of Sri Lanka, and we got a little fishing boat here. It just looks like he's cruising by, but this part of the world you never know, so we're going to have all the guys on deck, and we're going to keep our eye on.
The men on the fishing boat probably just wanted to sell us their fish, but maybe not. In these parts, if a pirate intent on hijacking, robbery, or murder boards your boat, you can call 911 to ask the cops to help you out. And with the violent civil war in Sri Lanka right over the horizon, we are not in the mood to make friends. In fact, just 80 miles from Sri Lanka, we have decided to bypass that war-ravaged nation. Even discounting the possibility of violence, there are just too many hassles. But that means no refueling stop. Hopefully the wind will continue. If it doesn't, we may not have sufficient diesel to motor the 1,200 miles left to Thailand. And guess what? The winds soon fail. Now it is anybody's guess as to when we can reach our destination. Well, here we are, glamorous sailors, caught in the doldrums between the northeast monsoon and the southwest monsoon in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Getting in a little necessary maintenance.
At this rate, we'll make Indonesia in 3 weeks.
But the boat will be leaving.
Skipper's log, March 26th. Miles from land, the vast ocean seems crowded with big ship traffic, plying this trade route between the Far East, the oil fields of the Persian Gulf, and the Suez Canal. The breeze is still sour. About the only wind is what Voyager creates as she motors through the calm seas under power. In checking the engine room on the morning watch, Captain Johan has discovered that it was filled with a growing river of oily seawater, a torrent rapidly flooding the bilge. If this leak is not stopped, it will drown the engine, or maybe even sink the damn boat.
What happened? Any idea? What happened?
We'll see. I'm just praying for it. It took hours to patch the dangerous leak and clean the awful mess. Skipper's log, March 29th. A gentle but steady breeze is finally tempering the relentless tropical sun. We're flying the big spinnaker and inching closer to Thailand. Yesterday, the dolphin came back, providing the day's entertainment. Huge pods frolicking and hunting vast schools of leaping fish.
That's the one we want.
That's the one we want.
That's exactly.
Oh, that's a nice fish, John. That's the one we want. They've inspired Kevin to join the hunt.
Bring him in. Keep coming, Charles.
Just flip him straight up onto the deck.
Keep coming. That's the one we want.
Flip him straight up onto the deck.
I'll get under him. Keep it.
Flip him straight up onto the deck.
Keep it.
Don't worry about the net.
Come on, baby.
Woo!
Landed. Hooks out.
Grab him.
Our fishing master again providing our table with fresh bounty from the great ocean.
All right.
With the wind again gone calm, we've decided to mimic the dolphin with a big mid-ocean dip. There's nothing quite like a swim 300 miles from the nearest land. Came in to see the boat from this very unique dolphin's perspective. She looks beautiful, and the ocean is awesome. So beautiful and so scary. Skipper's log, April 1st.
Land ho!
Now critically short of fuel and fresh water, we've decided to make an unscheduled stop at a tiny Indonesian port called Sebang. Indonesia is another nation in the midst of upheaval. At the very time of our visit, there was obvious tension about their coming elections, already marred by ethnic violence, and a full-scale shooting war going on in the east. But the reaction to us was mainly friendly curiosity, attracted by the rare sight of an American yacht. Our every move was watched by a polite and friendly audience.
Hi, boys.
Once a major refueling depot when ships ran on coal, Sabang's become obsolete to the modern traveler. It's become a sleepy backwater that time has forgotten.
Welcome to the chaos of the third world. This is the town of Sabang on the island of Palui, the northernmost extreme island in Indonesia.
The jungle here comes down to meet the ocean, and it seems about to consume tin huts that are unique only because so many of them have a satellite dish outside. With Voyager resting comfortably in Sabang's spectacular bay, Charlie and I took a jungle trek to a beautiful waterfall and met the island's resident tribe of cute, cunning monkeys who, like the bears in America's national parks, have learned that begging for bananas or stealing them is easier than picking them yourself.
Definitely what you call off the beaten path. Indonesia is a huge country. It is as wide as the United States of America. There are literally thousands of islands and unknown numbers of natural wonders like this.
Sabang may be the first place I've been where no one can say you should have seen it when. It is when. Around here, gas is served like lemonade, by hand by the glassful. And matching the primitive service stations are the colorful collection of antique vehicles and the mixed bag of residents, ranging from women wearing the formal garb of the Muslim faith to this cool operator, who's totally tuned in to the popular culture.
I've seen many countries from television, but not true.
You have satellite TV.
Yeah.
So you see-
in home, no. I just see coffee shop. Yeah, just
So you
like
see CNN,
CNN,
MTV.
MTV, France, India,
So you see the world through the television.
television.
The tour over, I drove Voyager to the local loading dock.
So Captain, how much are we taking on board?
4 metric tons of water and 800 gallons of fuel.
The total bill came to a whopping $340. Remember the name, Sebang, Indonesia. Paradise on the cheap. The wind filling Voyager's big spinnaker, we sailed off at sunset. Thailand just over the horizon, a couple of hundred miles away. Shortly after sunrise the next day, we worked to get back into fighting trim as the big cat sliced through the Andaman Sea. After a night and day of fine sailing, Thailand. Outside the hustle and bustle of Bangkok, this Southeast Asian nation is truly a fascinating place. Fishermen live an existence that really hasn't changed for centuries. Even their motorized boats seem so quaint as to be ancient relics. In a bay just north of the island of Phuket, we marveled at one of the world's natural wonders.
Welcome everybody to one of the great scenic wonders of the world, the islands of Phang Nguyen in western Thailand. There are hundreds of them. Before the Ice Age, these were the tops of mountains. When the ice receded 12,000 years ago, it left the tops of the mountains, forming a bay filled with islands and beaches that seem almost prehistoric. Beaches that maybe have not seen a swimmer ever. As far away from the east coast of the United States as is literally possible to get. Look at the incredible stone formation formed by wind and sea. They hang down like ghosts and goblins from some Halloween nightmare.